Quite often through the years, I have been asked, should I get my child a tutor? Or I think my child might need some help, need a tutor. Should I get one? And, this is a big question. It certainly can be loaded, and it is certainly, I feel, like a personal decision. There are times when your child really could benefit from having tutoring, like in a certain subject or in different skills. I have worked as a tutor. I have been there. I've been in the trenches with those kids and really seen when it can truly help them. And I get it, with some of that push that's out there that we're we have to get them a tutor in order for them to get ahead, all of these different things. And so that's why I said it's loaded and it is personal. But should we get our child a tutor? When is it going to work? Hi, and welcome to Learning Life, and thank you so much for joining me today as we look at this whole tutoring thing. Now, as I said, I have worked as a tutor, but I really actually preferred to work as a learning coach. This was for children who had learning difficulties to help them with the skills that they needed. I loved working on the skills, rather than content, but I have done both. So in coming in this, I want you to know, I have been there. I sort of have those experiences because, there were times it worked really, really well and others where it was extremely frustrating. And so I've got this heart for it, and I want to present this information out there because you have probably gone, should I get my child a tutor? And here you are. And so I thank you so much for watching, and know that I am bringing this information because I want to help you. And thank you to everybody who has been watching and who have said when something has been so helpful for them. I thank you for those comments. And truly, it's not too late. You can you can subscribe, and you can be part of this learning life. Now, tutoring is usually a short-term commitment, but some families like to have it for extended seasons. To me, really a short-term, I'm looking 3 to 6 months, but we want to build in those skills. We want to learn these things. But I know some families who will do it for an entire school year. Again, it comes down to needs, and does your child how and why do they need it? Signs your child might need a tutor. So if you are really wondering, should I get them one? Is it going to be good? There are several signs that could really tell you that your child might benefit from them. And so these are the common things. Really struggling with grades. So if their grades have been going, or they're having this difficulty in understanding what they are learning, keeping up with all of that, it really might be time to consider getting a tutor, especially if you don't feel equipped to help them. And then there's lack of confidence. And so, when our children don't have that confidence in what they can do, and usually it comes it's too hard, or we start getting those statements, well, I'm dumb, I'm stupid. It's really this anxiety comes out. And this is where a tutor can really boost that confidence, provide that extra support they need. So if they're showing this lack of confidence, it's worthwhile having a look at it. But maybe they're avoiding homework or studying. This avoidance is really a big thing, and if it's consistent, that I don't want to study for this test. I don't want to do homework. I'm not going to do that project. I'm not going to do that assignment. It could be that they really are struggling and could do with some help. But of course, this could also just be that your child doesn't like the subject or doesn't like learning. And so if that's the case, having additional time with somebody to work on that subject is really only going to push things into an area that it's not fun to go. So it is worthwhile having some conversations with your child about it, to find out if they're struggling or they just don't like it. Maybe they're not reaching their potential. And I hear that from parents before, they're not reaching their full academic potential. I'm not doing this. They're not being challenged enough in school. Okay. Maybe they're not. And then a tutor really can help provide, that more personalized learning opportunities, that more advanced stuff. But I really do want to say, and let me just say it clearly, not every child has the same academic potential. Not all children are all A children. And I feel strongly about this. If your child is consistently getting B's in school and you just see this is them and that getting all A's would actually be a push and cause stress, don't go and get a tutor to push their grades higher. Frustration, only going to cause frustration. But if they're like pulling in C's and they could get B's and maybe an occasional A, then that might be time to evaluate. Look, not reaching their potential is not always about having the highest grades. So set the grade level for like where your child is at. It is a personal thing, and weigh up like the academic potential if they need help and not just making it about all A's. Maybe a child has like specific like subject difficulties. It might be math, it might be reading, and those are our like two main ones that we often see. And so having like that tutor that can really provide that targeted help is going to be great. We'll get our children to understand, like to build up those skills and to get it. Or maybe you're prepping for standardized tests. Especially like those college entrance exams, a tutor can really help with that. That is going to provide guidance and practice and strategies to help them succeed. So if you're seeing some of those things and you're like, oh, I'm seeing this, I'm like doing that. Now, what type of tutoring do I need? Types of tutoring. There are different types of tutoring. They really are. And so you actually really need to look at what's going to work for you and for your child, like your schedule and your budget. So there's informal. And so your child's just going to get help, maybe an older sibling or a cousin, friend, neighbor. It really is like any help that sort of happens outside of the classroom. Could just look like homework help. And I have done that. I have stepped in to help friends' kids, because they're just struggling with their homework. Let's get over there. Let's help. Let's do that. Then there is online, and a lot of people are finding this to be like an attractive and affordable option. It's flexible, it's convenient, and it can be catered to your different needs. So many of these tutoring places are self-paced, meaning you can do the work when you are able. Now, it really can be great for children who are like self-motivated to get better, but I really do feel that like a large number of children need individualized attention. So many online tutoring services like this Chegg, there's Schooly, Tutor.com. Really many of them, really if not most, have a wide variety of subjects and ages covered, as well as different price structures so that can work for many families. Because, we want to see that because like online can be a better option than private. And so this is a tutor, like was me. I came to you or you came to me and offering like that regular in-person session. Because really some children just need that face-to-face, more personalized support, like be away from a computer. And it really is like ideal for children needing to like focus like on a specific subject. I know like that for me, I loved being able to like look at where they're at, like sort of gauge like even in that moment, oh, we need to get up and move. Like if I was online or we couldn't take a ball outside and toss it back and forth to practice our skip counting. We couldn't take chalk and, draw shapes on the driveway. Like we couldn't just go and sit outside to do like the reading. I loved being able to do that to meet also the emotional needs of the child at that time. But cost can sometimes be prohibitive for families. Because usually private tutoring is more expensive than online tutoring, but the benefit is definitely high. And then we do have our standardized test prep because many families want to make sure that their children are doing the best that they can in their SAT, ACT, whatever test they're taking, because really those tests can feel overwhelming. I know I look at the vocab of like the kids, like that they're having to learn for these. I'm like, oh, wow, it just feels like a lot. And so hiring a tutor often feels like something that is great. Now, interestingly enough, I know of families and I've seen the services out there that are really like pushing for standardized test prep for younger kids, like elementary for their yearly standardized tests. Like here in Georgia, we have Georgia Milestones, and you could go and get test prep for that. Honestly, not sure like why do our kids really need it? I just feel like if we emotionally prepare our kids for what it is, let's just do the best that we can. It's just like another activity. We're not going to worry too much about the grades, but people want it. And they're certainly using those services. Now, there are free or like low-cost online standardized test prep available. Like Khan Academy is great. Like it has free learning tools like the SAT, MCAT, LSATs. Varsity Tutors has a free course, and there's online practice tests that they can do. So we've had like online and private, like all of that. But don't forget that there are other programs like Kumon. Specifically math, there is the Sylvan Learning Centers, there is Huntington. We have like all of these different places. So it is a personal decision to engage a tutor because you have to look at the time and the money that's involved in that. It's really to me, that's a big factor, but it truly can be a good decision if your child really is struggling and you don't feel like that you have the capacity to effectively help. And I get that. We're busy, or maybe it's a subject that we don't really know enough of, or maybe it just is more helpful to have somebody outside of the family to help. So, tutoring, I think it is should my child have a tutor? Yeah, can we sort of go down and see what they're looking at, and then we can look at budget, and you can make it work. And remember, it doesn't have to be long term. It can just be short term. And so, thank you so much for watching today and for being part of this Learning Life. I love to get these videos out there because I love to help you. And if this has helped you today, shoot me a comment down below. I would love to know that. But you can also help to get these videos out by becoming a champion. So check that out at patreon.com or at my website, LearningThis.Life.